Alright, yo, we're back. So we're doing Mr. Mime. And these guys are super fucking dope, man. Just, like, the stuff I gave them was really cool and fun. So first things first, I had to make sure that they don't overlap with other psychic fairies, of which there are going to be a good amount now, because there's the few that we already had. Let me actually look up, psychic type Pokemon. A lot of these are becoming fairies, so let's look through the list. Mew, it doesn't really matter, probably have versatility anyways. But there is definitely quite a few. So these three, most likely, Cresselia definitely, Musharna definitely, Mr. Mime was one. Gardevoir is the main competition for Mr. Mime that exists right now. So basically, like, I have to make sure they don't overlap with Gardevoir or Gardevoir or Cresselia or Yuxi or there's one more, but yeah, I ended up making sure that that's not going to be an issue because Mr. Mime is super unique and cool and fun abilities, and the stats and everything, and their overall role as a Pokemon is very different from the others. And it is just awesome, y'all. So the line keeps Technician because it's just a good ability on them. They have tons of great stuff, which I'll cover in a second for Technician, and it makes sense because they're skillful. They use the walls and everything to create stuff. Hold on. Sorry, I had to drink. And yeah, they had Signature Filter and Shore, whatever. I could technically rename Filter now if I really wanted to, which I might do if I absolutely have to. But I don't think I'll even need to, honestly, because I already have Resilient and Solid Rock. But regardless, Technician's great. I'll cover that in a second. But then you have Prankstar Mime Jr., which fits very well given their little mischievous vibe, and they like to play pranks and confuse people and mimicking their movements and habitually mimicking foes and whatever. So Prankster makes a lot of sense, and it's great on it. Has tons of utility, which I'll cover in a second. And then Mr. Mime has Energy Shield, which is a new ability that is... I actually didn't even make it with Mr. Mime in mind. I made it because I realized that Crystallization had like no real qualifiers outside of mounts with crystals on them and a couple of ice types. And so I thought that Energy Shield could be more broad and it would fit more mons. So I ended up naming it Energy Shield, and that is just so perfect for Mr. Mime. I didn't even make that connection until I got to these guys. I was like, oh shit, dude, that's so perfect. Because it's almost like they have a barrier, they have a shield of their because they create barriers and whatnot. So Energy Shield is perfect for Mr. Mime, and that comes from Prankster, which is perfect for Mime Jr. So it's a really cool thing that when they evolve, the ability changes, they get Energy Shield, and that is just amazing. That essentially acts as multi-scale, although it's actually better than multi-scale because you can't excuse me, you can't bypass Energy Shield with abilities like Mold Breaker or moves like Sacred Sword or whatever. Not that you would use Sacred Sword on it, but like Spectral Beamer, for example, would bypass abilities, I believe. This does not do that. So that's really awesome. The only way you can bypass it is like multi-hit moves, or I think that's actually it. Yeah, multi-hit moves, which expertise as well. And those are pretty common, but still, I mean, Energy Shield is amazing on Mr. Mime. And another huge thing is they have giant stat buffs. So Mr. Mime is bulkier overall with dude, he's so. I think having a giant SpDef stat really fits for Mr. Mime, given their whole barrier miming thing. That's like they literally be barrier Pokemon, so that's also why they get Quick Guard and Wide Guard and all that other stuff. But I considered giving them King Shield, but I thought it was a little bit too weird, although it would make sense. Like, I mean, I guess they're like a Jester, so it could kind of work, but I figured not doing it. But yeah, they are just like so bulky and strong, and of course they're not overpowered because the physical defense is pretty poor and the HP is middling and the speed is good, but without like a scarf or priority moves or speed boosting stuff, you're gonna be outrun by a lot of stuff. But trust me, they are so fun and cool to use. I really like the way their abilities turn out, like in terms of how they relate with one another, because Technician is not out, like they don't outclass one another, which is always my priority, you know, to make sure that they aren't better than the other. That's a huge priority of mine, and I just really like how fitting they are in term, and also how well they function. So I will just cover them. So they evolve at level 29. Mr. Mime Jr. is much bulkier overall, with a much better HP stat and much better SPDF and slightly faster, slightly stronger. But then it has Technician, and Technician is amazing. I'll go over Technician for the whole line right now, and then I'll cover their other abilities. So, because Prankster kind of, I mean, 65 speed is actually not bad for early games, pretty fast. But then towards like the mid game, like Akala Island, you're gonna be outsped by a good amount of stuff. But you know, then you have your priority with Technician, or you have Prankster, so that's great. And I will cover that now. Just give me a second. I need to think of. Yeah, so I'll cover Technician. So with Technician, you have priority. So you got Pixie Dust, and yeah, I'll just cover it here. So you got Pixie Dust and Influx. Those are your two dual stab priorities. Those become 68 base power priority moves. With Technician, super strong dual stab priority Technician boosted. And then you have Draining Kiss, which will become 75 base power and heal you by 75% of HP, which is like essentially it's like Fairy type Giga Drain, but it heals even more, so that's really great. And you have Disarming Voice, which is 90 base power and always drops attack by 1, which is fucking great. And then you have Confusion on the special side. Oh god, this is annoying to finish this move. Sorry. The reason I made Side Beam the priority move is because the animation fits better as priority, because it's like a quick little beam shot versus Confusion is just like general psychic stuff. But otherwise I'll tell you what I renamed this move because it's annoying to search for. Either way, this becomes 90 base power and it has a 50% chance to confuse. It's just really strong early game. I mean, you get that at what, level 17, I think? Yeah, so that's just super strong early game. And Prankster is great on Mime Jr. With Prankster, you can abuse Encore Disable, you can make them struggle. You can use Entrainment and give them your ability, which is not, I mean, it could be good actually, but early game you wouldn't want to give Technician because everything is Technician boosted early game for the most part. But you could give them like Prankster if they have a really good ability. Otherwise, I don't know, it's a little bit niche. It's just, I feel like it's there for flavor mostly. Misty Terrain is nice. Then you get Psychic Terrain, which is priority now. Baby Dolls and Plain is already priority. But Teeter Dance is a good one because you also get +2 special attack with the Z move, which you'll have normal MZ at that point. So you can totally do. Actually, I should probably remove that, shouldn't I? I don't want you +2 special attack sweeping Hala. Never mind. Sorry, I gotta swap this around a little bit. I'll put, I think, giving it Prankster Tickle for Hala is more fair. Yeah, it's a lot more fair. I'll do that. And then we'll put Teeter Dance at 25, sure. Because Z Teeter Dance is the main reason you're using it, because Confusion itself is not reliable at all. And it's bad. So you're using it for the +2 special attack, which is good. Let me just swap that out real quick. Alright, Tickle and Teeter Dance. I was thinking about doing that while I was making them, but I was like, it'll be fine. But then I forgot that Hala, you have priority and stuff. I was like, oh, you'll get outsped, but you won't because you have priority. I don't want people doing that. But anyways, Tickle, now you have priority Tickle for Hala, which is really fucking good. Yes, you have poor physical defense, but that's actually patched up a lot with just a single priority Prankster Tickle use. So that's super great. And of course, you could also just use Technician with the power boost with Pixie Dust and Influx, but you're already pretty strong for early games, so you don't need the power boost necessarily, although it's very much appreciated and it's significant for sure. And then when you evolve, so actually you have more stuff from Technician until you evolve. So you have, I mean, you could use physical sets, not on Mime Jr., but Mr. Mime is also not really an option for physical, but you could baton pass physical stuff later on, which I'll get into. Hold on, let me move that. So you have you have Technician boosted dual stat priority, you have Technician boosted Draining Kiss, Confusion, and Disarming Voice. Like I said, those are all great. Then you get access to Technician boosted Water Pulse and Icy Wind and Shockwave. So what those are is Shockwave is 55 base power. That becomes 7. What is? Oh yeah, I put the Enzrim music because I think it fits Mr. Mime. Yeah, like I said, I'm making little mini playlists for these mons while I do them before I start the video. I think it's fun. So yeah, you got Shockwave. What is 55 times 1.5? I can't do it off the top of my head right now for some reason. 70, 83.5, right? Yeah. Oh, sorry, 82.5, so 83. So 83 base power, shockwaves, which is really strong. It's basically like almost the strongest thunderbolt for early game, and it's priority plus 2 priority as well. Outpaces normal priority. So that's great with Technician. And then you have Water Pulse and Icy Wind. Icy Wind having a 100% chance to darker speed becomes 90 base power, so that's the same power as Ice Beam, which is literally the reason I didn't give them Ice Beam normally, which they didn't have anyways. But I figured, because if it didn't have Technician, I would be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll give them Ice Beam later, because they can use Ice Beam if they get Icy Wind. But I think Icy Wind as their Ice Beam equivalent with Technician encourages use of Technician, because Technician is great, but Energy Shield's also really good, so I want to really encourage Technician. And ideally, I'll just be swapping on and off from those, because later on you can use like Specs Technician and just spam your priority moves, spam Charge Beam, and get the special attack boosts, which is another good thing, by the way, I was going to cover. Also, Technician stored power is excellent, like really excellent. So stored power, I'll cover that later, and once I get to the late game stuff. But stored power is amazingly complemented by both of their abilities. Stored power is like a staple on Mr. Mime once you get it at level 70, which I will cover the exact reason why. I promise I'll come back to that. But yeah, Charge Beam is great. You get 75 base power plus 1 special attack guaranteed. This is kind of repetitive, but I know that's the point, so I'll just let it play. Z makes some good remixes. So then you have Technician boosted. Like I said, you have Icy Wind, Shockwave, Water Pulse. A Water Pulse is 60 base power, but it has a 50% chance to boost all your stats, so that's useful. Ominous Wind as well, so you have 90 base power, covers moves all across the board at an early game. I'll just keep doing that. And then you also have like good utility like Parting Shot and all this other amazing stuff. With Mr. Mime Jr., you have Parting Shot with Prankster, but then Mr. Mime, you have Energy Shield, so. Mime Jr. can also use like Prankster Substitute and all that other good stuff. Prankster Taunt, Prankster Skill Swap, Prankster Trick, all this really cool, fun stuff. Also Prankster Healing with Recover. So like I said, both of them are great. But I would say Energy Shield, you could argue is better. I mean, they're both really good abilities. Then otherwise with Technician, you lose out on stuff later in the game. So after that, your only Technician stuff is like Magical Leap, which is actually great. With Magical Leap, you will get, if I could get to it, you will get +1 defense, sorry, special defense. So that's really great. You can just slap on Magical Leaf and 90 base power grass coverage, which is slightly weaker than Energy Ball, but it's earlier than Energy Ball. Actually, probably around the same level, around maybe a little bit earlier. And then, of course, the great effect is you get +1 Spit F, and they already have a great Spit F stat, so that's super great. You could totally use like Magical Leaf Charge Beam sets with a stored power, or Calm Mind sets with stored power, and Draining Kiss. Oh man, Draining Kiss stored power Technician. Oh dude, it's so gross. I fucking love Mr. Mime now. One of the biggest things holding it back is that 90 base speed. That's why I didn't buff it, because if it had even 95, it would be a lot better. And that would be, I wouldn't say it would set it over their edge. I mean, it's still gonna die to a lot of stuff, but it's great, man. It's so, especially for the player, it's really easy to take advantage of with all the setup and all the Technician stuff and the Energy Shield stuff, and it's just so good. Otherwise, with Technician, you have Force Waves, level 51, which is excellent. I figure that fits with their hands. It's kind of like they're creating the shockwaves with their palms and their mimes. That basically becomes 105 base power, so that's 15 base power stronger Aura Sphere. It's still 100% accurate, and it has a 51% chance overall to drop to paralyze, which is really useful. So basically, you have 105 base power fighting type coverage move that has a 50% chance to paralyze, so that's really great. Of course, you can always just use Focus Blast TM later on, which is strong. 130 base power, 85% accuracy, but Force Waves is great. So with Technician, after that, you kind of don't get stuff for Technician. I mean, that's all you need. That's more than enough, dude. You're gonna be swapping out Technician all the time. That's the thing with infinite ability capsules. You can just literally available from the very beginning of the game. So if you catch a Mime Jr., oh, I need Technician for this battle. Oh, I need Prankster for this battle. Oh, I need Energy Shield for this battle. Easy swaps, man. Super easy. And it's beautiful. Really, it's beautiful. So that's all really good stuff. Also, Mime Jr. has like Prankster screens as well. Excuse me. So you can use like Light Clay. Actually, I don't know if the Light Clay be available before level 29, but probably not. But maybe actually. But you'll definitely get the screens by Brookwood Hill, and you can slap those on too. So like I said, tons of just amazing stuff with Prankster. Maybe I could move Disarming West and Teeter Dance. Yeah, let me do that actually. Sorry, guys. This team is getting really. I know it's supposed to be creepy, but Jesus. It's not even like pleasant to listen to in the background, so I'm probably gonna change it up after I put this in. Mime Junior. God, this is getting annoying, man. I don't like it. Teeter dance and fucking disarming voice. All right, that's done now. God, turn this off, dude. What the fuck? Oh, this is nice. I fuck with this. And like I said, Mime Junior is a great speed F stat now, and then Mr. Mime is the hefty 150 speed F. So even without Energy Shield, you're still tanking special hits. Much better than Filter, because Filter, I mean, yeah, sure, moves your weakness to Ghost and Steel and Bug, because they are now weak to Bug, because Fairy is neutral. Bug is neutral on Fairy now, so they don't resist Bug anymore. They're now weak to Bug, so now they have a weakness to Bug. Psychic Fairy is not as overpowered of typing as it was before. Not that it was overpowered, but it was a really good type. Now they're weak to Bug, Ghost, Steel, and Poison, which is a fair amount of weaknesses, very fair. Other cool stuff also, other cool utility things they can do before. I'll just talk about Energy Shield now, then I'll talk about like the extra stuff. So yeah, Energy Shield is just goddamn amazing. You are swallowing hits. You can swap your Mr. Mime in on the strongest attacks and it'll probably live them. Special hits, you're absorbing. Physical hits, you can live with Energy Shield. You can also just invest in your physical defense because your special defense stat is so great naturally. You can literally just never invest in it, and you can always run like max defense, max special attack, or max speed special attack, or whatever you need to run. You can always customize your UV spreads because there's infinite. What am I saying? Hold on, let me make sure I'm recording. By the way, I don't know why I just got paranoid that I'm not recording, but I just want. Come on, dude. Let me. Why is the overlay thing being annoying? Okay, I'm recording. Just wanted to make sure. Yeah, it's just so strong with all of these good utility options and offensive options. And another thing with Technician actually is this will be the transition because basically at level 70 you get stored power and you get Z Mimic. So I'll cover Mimic first. So Mimic priority, you get the Z move Omni Boost, and it copies their last used move. So it's kind of like it's a sketch for the rest of the battle, which is the same thing. I mean, actually, no, it's not. I lied. It's not the same thing because you're gonna have to. You can really. I mean, the main advantage is just the boosts. Like you're not really using it for the mimic effect, but it's still a useful thing. Like you can totally plan. Oh, let me get Energy Shield on my Mr. Mime, switch it into a really strong attack, take that strong attack because I have Energy Shield, and then mimic the very next turn. Z move, Z mimic. Then you'll instantly get the stat boost, and you'll instantly copy their last move, and you'll keep that move. It's not like me first or anything like that, or a copycat. It's literally just giving you the boost permanently. Sorry, giving you the item for the rest. Jesus, giving you the move for the rest of the fight. So you can copy any move. You can technically use any move, but obviously that's kind of misleading. Most of the time you won't be copying anything useful, but I mean, you can totally time your use of the move and copy something really good. Anything is better than nothing anyways. It's better than having a dead move slot, you know? So that's great. And then +1 all stats. You are swallowing special hits at +1 special defense. You are killing stuff at +1 special attack. You are outspeeding a lot of stuff at +1 speed, even with no investment, although I'd probably recommend some investment. Is this over already? No, it's just a delay. And then with +1 defense with investment, you're swallowing physical hits as well. And you can also just conserve your Energy Shield. You can literally just lead off of it and just click Mimic, and it'll fail obviously, but you'll still get the stat boost. And that's just easy, you know. You just get the stat boost, and then you get the Energy Shield. So even if you're fucking dude +1 defense with Energy Shield, you're taking even like strong Steel and Poison and strong physical moves. You're taking strong super effective physical hits, bar a bunch of other stuff, but it's really good. Also, Energy Shield is great with like screens. Energy Shield has so many applications. It's such a good ability. You can use Energy Shield with Nasty Plot. You can use it with Calm Mind, and then of course you can still use Technician Calm Mind with priority. You can use Technician Calm Mind with Draining Kiss, and like I was saying with Mimic. So let me get back on track with the Mimic stuff. So with Mimic, you have two options. You can just sweep on your own, or you can Baton Pass. Although I did nerf it's both a nerf and a buff, because it's a nerf in the sense that it works like teleport now, because I kind of wanted to make a teleport equivalent, and so I think making Baton Pass work like teleport is really cool. Even though fucking everything on the planet gets a Volt Switch, or like everything on the planet gets at least one switch move for the most part. Parting Shot list now for TM, so most stuff should be able to get at least one. But if you don't, you get Baton Pass for teleport, and then you also that's why some stuff gets Baton Pass earlier, because it's not overpowered on them early in game. Like, I don't know, random shit, kind of like Wish Pass early game. I know I gave it to like random stuff. I can't find one right now, but there's definitely, oh yeah, these guys get like Wish Pass, I believe. wherever. But yeah, level 25, you get Wish Pass. And that's kind of cool. It's like teleport. I also give it to Clefable just because teleport and also Slowbro. Actually, I didn't give it to Slowbro because I wanted Slow King to be unique with the parting shot. But anyways, getting off topic. Baton Pass is useful for that, but you're not really using it for that. You're using it to pass the boosts. And it's a nerf in the sense that you can't pass speed as easily. You're going to have to take another hit to pass speed, which is balanced because I don't want people just sweeping fucking everything. But, you know, that's not fair. And it's really easy to do that with Baton Pass as long as there's no taunt or anything or strong hits or whatever in front of you. So that's really great. You can Baton Pass away if you need, and you can also just, I mean, once you get to the league, you can use with Infinite Move Relearner, and then you can just use it when you need to Baton Pass stuff. So that's great. And then the biggest thing that you get, which is amazing for both abilities, is Stored Power. So Stored Power Technician is devastating. Stored Power Energy Shield is devastating because Energy Shield can give you a lot of setup opportunity with Calm Mind, Nasty Plot, Z Mimic, etc. And that's just so valuable, man. It's so valuable. You can run sets like Technician, Stored Power, Magical Leaf, Charge Beam if you really want it to be a Chad, and a Draining Kiss. You could run those four moves with Assault Vest. You can run Technician, Assault Vest sets with Stored Power, Charge Beam, Magical Leaf, and Draining Kiss to heal. And that is, and that's a perfect moveset. I mean, you can run, then you can just run max HP, max physical defense, or max speed and max defense. I would say max defense is best because Magical Leaf will boost your special defense if you need it. And obviously that's a little bit of a gimmick because yeah, you're gonna have to you know get those moves off, and the power level, especially late game, is still strong. It's gonna be harder, easier said than done, but still a really cool option they have nonetheless. And that's really fun to use. And then with Technician, so basically Stored Power is 20 base power, but it gains 20 base power for each boost that you have. And you get +1 special attack each time you use Stored Power now, and in exchange it has 3 PP, which is a very, very needed nerf because otherwise this would be really strong and overpowered. I don't want people sweeping in power teams. I want you to at least get 3 kills at most with it. That's just fair. And trust me, you're still going to be wanting to run this move, definitely. This is kind of loud. Oh, I like this. And that's just so strong. So with Technician, your first Stored Power is 30 base power. You get +1 special attack. That becomes 40 base power, and that turns into 60 with Technician. So your post special attack 60 base power with Technician on the second Stored Power, and on the third Stored Power, you will be getting it'll be 60 base power, and that becomes 90 with Technician, and your +2 special attack. So literally, if you just click Stored Power 2 times in a row, that's what you're getting. And then your +2 special attack when you're done. But that's without any other setup. That's without anything else. And of course that combines really well with Draining Kiss. So super strong, man. These guys seem really fun to use. And you also can just mimic into Stored Power, and what Z Mimic and Stored Power does is it gives you 120 base power Stored Power instantly, and that works really good with Energy Shield especially, although Technician's still useful with priority and other stuff if you want to do that. Or Draining Kiss, like you can run Z Mimic Technician Draining Kiss sets with Stored Power and just, you know, wreck house there. Tons of crits, tons of really cool stuff, man. And also if you for some reason lost your boosts, you can still use like the regular Stored Power of Technician. So super strong, man. I keep repeating. I sound like a broken record probably. I know I repeat myself a lot, but I really just don't want to understate how cool something is or how good a certain thing is, you know. I like to ramble, and I'm sure if you're listening to this, you're listening because you appreciate the talking and stuff. Other stuff, you just get very strong stab moves. Besides Technician, you have really strong stuff. You have Radiant Outburst, which is I think it fits because of the whole like light reflecting stuff. In that is just a nuke. You get -4 special attack, which is 2/3 drop. It's not as high as you think. -4 is not 75% drop, it's a 2/3 drop, so it's actually not even that big of a drop. It's big, don't get me wrong, but you can use 2 Radiant Outbursts in a row and kill a lot of things. And that's consistent and very strong. Z move level of power. Stronger than a lot of Z moves actually, so it's really strong. And of course that's limited distribution, but I think it works for Mr. Mime, and I think it's fun and cool. And yeah, there's so much other. Oh, also Hidden Power Technician. I didn't mention that for coverage. That can literally be any type in the game besides Fairy, which you don't need. So that's also good. Although you already have Ghost, you already have Electric, you already have Ice, you already have Water, you already have Grass. So I mean, you don't really need too much else besides maybe Fire. But you already have Mystical Fire, which is arguably better because despite being 20 base power lower than HP Fire, it's number one, it's consistent. because you can't guarantee your Mr. Mime's going to be HP fire unless you breed, in which case, I mean, go crazy, I guess, but I wouldn't. That's kind of lame. And it's fire 70 and it drops special attack, so it's really useful there. How about not missing stuff? Yeah, that's about it for the technical. It's just, it's so good. Like it's such a, even just having those abilities, energy shield with the Spadef, like it's just a good blob. It can just take hits, and that's already great. It can parting shot out after taking an energy shield hit. It can do so much stuff that you needed to do. So it's really fun to use, really versatile, really has a lot of options, which I like. Otherwise, you just have some other cool, random niche gimmicky support stuff. Like Trick Room is like I think if you guys listened to the last video, same exact argument. Trick Room is given to fast mons because I don't want people to just instantly disrupt an entire team for 5 turns and win with Trick Room. That's lame. I think there should be a little bit of risk. And so what I did is I made it priority. So with Energy Shield, you can really get off Trick Room very reliably, and then you can have your allies take advantage of the Trick Room. And you can also use that with a parting shot as well. So you can like Trick Room into parting shot out, or Trick Room eject button is excellent. Oh, Trick Room eject button is excellent, absolutely excellent. That's another reason I wanted to nerf. I mean, you could say nerf, but I wouldn't call it a nerf. I would more call it a change of the way it works. I wanted to change the way Trick Room works because of the infinite eject button. So you can literally just use eject button, energy shield, Mr. Mime with Trick Room. Priority Trick Room, get the Trick Room off. You'll take the hit easily with energy shield, and you get swapped out. And then now you have 4 full turns to wreck house with Trick Room mons, which there are a lot of, obviously, with all of the bulky low speed mons. And that's great. It's really good. And that's early. That's not super late. It's level 39. You can do that in Ula Ula, you know, so that's really useful. Early Ula Ula or mid Ula Ula. Then you just got regular shit, charm, friend, -2 attack or special attack respectively. Lucky Chant is priority, and it's really useful for, and it's also 15 turns now, I believe. Let me confirm. I don't think I could change the duration, actually, never mind, yeah. But it's priority, and that is great with all of the ruthless mons running around. So it's niche, it's very niche, don't get me wrong, but it's useful. It's useful for sure. So you can totally slap on a Lucky Chant if you're really, like, let's say there's a ruthless trainer that's like, he's just gonna absolutely shit on your mons, and you're running a team lock to Nuzlocke, and you just have nothing, and you have no other counterplay because you can't stat drop them because they'll crit the Rit. So Lucky Chant's a great way to shut those mons down for 5 turns only though. So it's niche, but it's still there. Future Sight's cool. Mirror Coat's nice with energy shield for totems and stuff. Hypnosis is really good, but it's 80% accurate. It becomes 88 with it becomes 93 with wide lens now because of the wide lens buff, or rather 91. Hold on. 92. Okay. Because of the wide lens buff. Barrier is really good. Before you get all the other setup stuff, you can use like Barrier, Calm Mind, Technician, Draining Kiss, or Barrier, Calm Mind, Energy Shield stuff. Super useful there. Barrier, Calm Mind, Store Power, and you can just become an absolute menace so quickly with that. And then Draining Kiss for healing and also to hit dark types, and that's all you need. Although you don't hit a lot of stuff that way, you know, like steals and stuff. But still great, really, really great. And also Sinister mons, but I don't want to go to every little nitty-gritty possibility. You guys get the general idea. You get powerful stabs, and also another funny thing. So other funny stuff. Wide guard and quick guard are niche, but they're semi-useful because they block. They're infinite use now, and you can basically you can't, like, you know how normally when you click protect and it will stop you from using it the second time in a row. Like, it's much more likely to fail. Excuse me. Wide guard and quick guard don't have that effect, and so you can spam it. And they have 20 PP each, I believe. Maybe I made quick guard less PP because it doesn't. No, quick guard has more PP actually. Yeah, I remember what I did. Yeah, because quick guard is blocks priority, which is weaker moves on average, not always, but weaker on average. And also the AI doesn't abuse priority moves as much as the user does, as a user would. But wide guard is very useful. You can just PP stall. You can PP stall the shit out of so many moves, dude, with 20 PP wide guard. Also Freezy +3 defense is useful, but mostly you're just using it. Like, for example, oh crap, this mon is using a rock slide on me and it's really strong. You can just click a quick wide guard 10 times and their PP is stalled, and and you can use that for setup. That's a really, like, it's niche, don't get me wrong, but it's actually like really cool because you can PP stall something and to the point where they can barely touch you. So let's say, because that also blocks earthquake, so that's like, so let's say there's a mon here, right? Let's say you're fighting a Rhyperior and they have Rock Slide and Earthquake for some reason. Although I probably would give them different movesets, but let's say they're running just flat out Rock Slide Earthquake. Both of those are spreader moves, and that's a common combination. All right, that's a common combination. You're gonna find mons with Rock Slide and Earthquake as their main attacking moves, because the Edgequake is great. Well, this isn't Edge, but it's 5 base power weaker than an original Stone Edge and 15% more accurate. So that's obviously an upgrade. But it has the flinch rate. But sorry, I'm just feeling this remix a little bit. And you have 20 PP that stalls out Rock Slide and Earthquake perfectly. And then let's say their only other moves either can't touch you for some reason, like let's say it's just covers moves that you resist really like well, or it's just utility moves for some reason. I don't know what mana would do that for, but the point is you can then just Calm Mind to +3, which is the max because it has 3 PP. Calm Mind to +3, then you still have 2 more move slots. You know, so you can really, really, really take advantage of Wild Guard. So I wouldn't sleep on it. I would not sleep on stuff like that. And Quick Guard is a little bit more niche, but I threw it on there just for flavor. Not that it's bad or anything. You could totally stall out specific ones with like E-Speed or something. I don't know. But the AI very rarely uses priority. It would be good for first impression actually. So you can block a first impression, I believe, with that. Yes, you can. So that's what's useful actually. And first impression is pretty common on mons. So that's cool, and you're weak to that now. So that's that for that. And then other stuff like Flatter, Topsy Turvy is a funny little meme. Topsy Turvy is good for totems. It reverses their stat changes. And you can use Flatter into Topsy Turvy. So you use Flatter, give them +2 special attack, and then they're confused, and then you can Topsy Turvy and make it -2 special attack. It's kind of convoluted, but it's a fun little thing you can try. I don't know. It's not really worth 2 move slots, but it's there. It's for totems specifically, it could be useful because Charm and Befriend are later. I think I've covered about everything. Yeah, I've covered pretty much everything for these guys. Super fucking fun and cool and strong and usable and awesome. This is a little bit of a gushy one, but gushy when it comes like I've been gushing a lot, but I just think that they're really fun and cool. I don't even like Mr. Mime, man. Like, okay, I kind of do. I have a weird soft spot for him. He's not my favorite or anything, but I have a weird soft spot for him. Don't ask me why. It's been like that since I was younger too. I don't know. I just think he's kind of charming. And I really like the way that Technician and Energy Shield and Prankster and their move pool comes together to just make this amazing mon. It's offensive, it's utility, it's just fun, and it's very versatile and a very good Pokemon overall. So hope I covered about everything, all the great options you have with it. Thanks for listening, y'all.